So thanks pretty much exclusively to Fox News, we know our border is being absolutely overrun by illegals. Sure, the dangerous ones are still sneaking in, which is made easy peasy due to the fact our Border Patrol agents are being relegated to the mass welcome squad. But the rest, the tens of thousands of others, aren't sneaking in. They are strolling in like our southern border is the entrance to Disneyland, and our law enforcement agents are flipping Mickey Mouse and friends. Like, hey, how you doing? Welcome to our once beautiful nation. After you finish completely disrespecting immigration law, go ahead and suck us dry while you're at it. You know, I have to go through more security and verification to get into a frickin' AAA baseball game than these illegals do before they tap dance all over our southern border. This is an abomination. These people don't have credible asylum claims. They are taking advantage of this country, and the Democrats who want new voters are aiding and abetting this clown show. Over 6 million have entered this country that we know of since Biden took office. To put that in perspective for you, my home state of South Dakota has a population of around 900,000. So that's over 7 frickin' South Dakotas we've let in thus far, and Title 42 hasn't even expired yet. Where the hell do y'all think these people are gonna go, huh? You think the homeless crisis is bad now? What do you think is gonna happen after we import poverty through our open southern border? We have limited resources to begin with, and now add 7 million plus illegals to the mix. Boom! Disaster. If hundreds of thousands were amassing to invade Ukraine, you think Biden would do something? Someone remind Sleepy Brandon that this is what's happening at our southern border in case he cares to protect and defend a country he swore to protect and defend. And I'll tell you this, if Republicans win in 2024, we better see 6 million plus deportations, and we better see it on day one. And what about our brave Border Patrol agents? You know, my heart breaks for them. Over the years, I've had the great honor of spending time with our brave Border Patrol and Air and Marine agents. I've been to the border alongside these wonderful men and women on 5 separate occasions, and I will cherish those experiences for a lifetime. I can't imagine what it must feel like for them to have dedicated their life's work to protecting and securing our nation, only to be ordered to sit idly by as it all goes down the toilet. Please know the silent majority recognizes, and we're going to do everything in our power to get you a commander-in-chief who gives a damn. It doesn't have to be this way. This isn't an accident. This is a choice. To all of the immigrants who still have enough dignity and respect to come over here the right way, not some phony-ass asylum claim, not sneaking in, not barging in like you own the place, don't know if y'all know this, but we really appreciate you. And for the rest of you, I can't even blame you. You've been invited in by the Democrats. You see an opportunity, and you're taking it. You might be tap dancing all over our national sovereignty, our taxpayers, our laws, our order, but you quite frankly don't owe us anything, and I get that. We also owe you nothing, but unfortunately, thanks to Joe and Kamala, we've been forced to give you the keys to the castle. And right now, we're pretty damn powerless to do anything about it. But don't get too comfortable, because the second we take back that White House and take back Congress, you'll get a one-way coach ticket to wherever the hell you came from, and don't come back until you're ready to respect this nation. You need to earn the right to call home. Title 42, the last and only remaining hindrance to mass illegal immigration left in place under Joe Biden, expires tomorrow. But who are we kidding? 6.3 million illegal immigrants into this country that we know of, including at least 100 on the terror watch list, already qualified as a mass invasion long ago. What we're going to see after Title 42 expires can't even be classified as an invasion, because you can't invade something that doesn't protect or defend itself. Look at this footage. Hundreds of thousands amassing to rush our border. El Paso and other border towns are completely overrun, looking like third world countries. And we can't even call it catch and release, because there is no catch and no release. It's just come right the hell on in. We invite you to tap dance on the face of national security, border security, American citizens, and the illegal immigrants who had the decency to do it the right way. I'm sick. I'm sick to my stomach, and I'm outraged. I can't imagine what our border agents are going through right now, but I'm about to find out. Joining me now with what you need to know is the man with enough stones to tell the truth about it all, National Border Patrol Council President Brandon Judd. Brandon, it's so great to have you on such an important week for our country.
Tommy, I wish I could say it's good to be with you, but unfortunately, under these circumstances, absolutely not. It's monstrous what we're currently seeing on the border, and it's going to hurt the American people. And it upsets Border Patrol agents like there's no tomorrow. We are thoroughly disgusted with President Biden.
I can't imagine what it's like. I mean, I've had the opportunity to spend time with Border Patrol agents, and I know that they take that responsibility to protect and defend this nation so seriously. About 50%, by the way, Latino Hispanic that have immigrated to this country legally. So they respect this country, perhaps even more than your average American. And what we're seeing right now, I can't even put it into words, to be honest with you, but I want to get down to the bottom of what's going on down there. We know Fox News, our drones are down there capturing this madness, pretty much the only ones in the media that want to tell the truth about it. But we're hearing also that this isn't even going to be catch and release. This is just going to be, we're going to let you come in because we do not have the resources, the NGOs, the anything to process these people. Is that what's really going to happen down there?
It is, and it's happening right now as we speak. It started happening, but until we understand what the context of those numbers mean, that all they are is numbers. When we apprehend 1,000 people, we have the resources to deal with that. 1,000 people per day, we have the resources to deal with that. Once we hit 3,000 people, we're pulling resources out of the field, which leaves gaps in our coverage. 5,000 people, now we only have 50% of our resources in the field. We're at 10,000 apprehensions as we speak. That means we only have 30% of our Border Patrol agents that are actively patrolling the border. And when we only have 30% of our Border Patrol agents on the border, that means the cartels have almost complete control. Once that number goes up, once Title 42 goes away, and we're apprehending between 15 and 16,000 people a day, that means we're only going to have 10% of our resources on the border, and the cartels are going to control every single inch of our southwest border. That means drugs are going to flow into the United States, criminal aliens are going to flow into the United States, and as you mentioned, people on the terrorist watch list, people from special interest countries are also going to flow into the United States.
And not even just the dangerous aspect of the ones that are going to be sneaking in because of the gaps in the coverage. I also look at just these tens of thousands of people, over 6 million since Biden took office, and I'm wondering, how is our country going to absorb that mass amount of people? I mean, we know our border cities, our border states are already overrun, but you can't even fit 6 million plus people, and now we're going to see tens of thousands coming in over the next couple of weeks, and it's never going to stop. Where are these people going to go? Are they going to have a notice to appear, or are they just going to be released and I guess we just leave it at that?
But right now, we don't even know if we're going to be able to issue notice to appear. We can't keep up with what we have. We have the capacity to hold 10,000 people. That's what our limits are. We're currently holding 28,000 people. That means we're stacking people on top of people. When you heard about kids in cages, when they claimed that President Trump was putting kids in cages, you ought to see our holding facilities right now. It's 100 times worse than we ever dreamed it would be. I never, in my worst nightmare, would have believed that we could get to the point that we're at. And yes, it's just going to be mass releases into the United States. We're not going to be able to properly vet these people. We're not going to be able to verify where they're coming from. It's going to be very dangerous, and the American people are going to pay for it.
I want to talk about this so-called enforcement operation that was supposed to happen yesterday, but they essentially announced it in a press release, so the entire element of surprise was essentially blown. And you've got these people in El Paso that were given pamphlets and woke up to pamphlets saying to turn themselves in. I have a clip from our Fox News team that captured one of these illegals and how seriously they took that pamphlet. Let's take a listen.
I don't know who gave me this. They had no identification. They had a gun and a badge, but I don't know. I'm not going to turn myself in.
So, Brandon, I want to talk about just the brazenness, the shamelessness of all of this. And these people don't care. They're given this pamphlet. I mean, what was that pamphlet? Did it mean anything? Do we really have operational control of our border, as Mayorkas continues to tell the American people?
The pamphlet was a complete joke, and everybody knows it was a joke. The problem is law enforcement is now permeated with activists. We have activists that are running our agency. And any time that you have activism in law enforcement, you're going to side with criminals. And that's what we saw in this case. We told them we were coming. We told the criminals, the element that have serious criminal records, go hide before we get there. It got so bad that this operation actually had to be shut down because everybody dispersed and there was nobody there left to take into custody. That's activism within law enforcement, and it should never happen.
So what happens next? I mean, Title 42 hasn't even expired yet. It expires tomorrow. We already know that there is tens of thousands of people amassing, ready to come in. What happens starting tomorrow and in the next several weeks? What do Border Patrol agents have to prepare for, if they can prepare for anything at all?
We got to be prepared to do administrative work. We got to be prepared to be pulled off of the border to take care of thousands and thousands of people. We're going to be doing a humanitarian mission rather than a law enforcement mission. We were never supposed to be doing that. We're not equipped to do that. We are supposed to be protecting the American people. Every single law enforcement officer throughout the nation, it doesn't matter whether it's DPS, local, county, or Border Patrol agents. We put that uniform on because we want to protect the American people. Unfortunately, under this administration, the rule of law has completely gone by the wayside. And what's funny about that, it's laws that keep us safe. It's laws that make us free. Laws don't restrict us. Laws enhance our freedoms, yet you constantly see this administration go more and more to the left, which takes away from our freedoms. We do not want to become countries like Venezuela, like Cuba, like all of these countries that these people are supposedly fleeing from. We're going to be to that point as well if we do not start enforcing our laws, if we don't start going back to the thought process that the rule of law makes us free.
So what do you say to those people, the airheads out there, the morons like AOC and others that say all of these people coming through have legitimate asylum claims and by law we have to let these people in? What's your response to that narrative?
I would point to that individual in Texas that was here illegally, that had been deported 4 times previously, that just killed 5 people, 5 innocent people he just killed. That's the effects of not following the rule of law. They can claim that illegal aliens commit less crimes by percentage than what United States citizens do. That's a red herring. It doesn't matter. That person should not have been here in the first place. He shouldn't have been allowed to kill those 5 people. And if he would have been properly prosecuted, he wouldn't have killed those people. We have got to protect the American public. That's what law enforcement is about. And if we don't get back to it, it's going to be the public that suffers.
You're right. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, unfortunately. We just hope we can clean up this mess if we should be so lucky, so fortunate as to get someone in that White House that's going to do something. But we've got a couple of years before that's even an option. So now I want to talk about what Mayorkas is saying now, because we know that Texas National Guard is down there trying to physically prevent people from coming in. I saw the video from Bill Maloof and Fox News this morning, physically standing there trying to prevent people from just bum rushing in. And we've got Mayorkas saying that they don't know if that's legal or not, and they're going to go through the proper channels, which says to me they're actually going to go after Texas National Guard and these National Guardsmen and women for standing there trying to protect and defend their own state. Do you think that's what's going to happen? And what can you tell us about what Texas National Guard is doing at the border right now?
I know it's going to happen. What they're going to do is they're going to file a lawsuit against Governor Abbott. They're going to name these specific individuals that took the proper enforcement posture. They're going to go after them personally, and they're going to go after Governor Abbott. Thank goodness we do have a governor that's willing to stand up and try to protect not just the citizens of his own state, but the entire United States is what he's trying to protect. We can expect that the ACLU, we can expect the outside groups like this, we can even expect that the DOJ, our own federal government, is going to go after this governor.
Yeah, well, I say screw them. Screw them all. They're not protecting and defending our country, so why should Texas sit back and abide by their petty little laws when they are not abiding by the law of the land or immigration and protecting and defending this nation from what appears to be a mass invasion? But you know what the Biden administration is going to say? They're going to say that they have operational control and they're doing something about it because they sent 1,500 active duty troops to the border. Brandon, what can you tell us about those 1,500 active duty troops? Are they really protecting and defending our border?
Absolutely not. All you have to do is look at the mission parameters. All you have to do is look at what the White House said that they were going to do. The White House said that they're not going to come in contact with any person that crosses the border illegally. And if they don't do that, they're not going to alleviate the administrative duties that are placed on Border Patrol agents. Every single thing that we do, whether it's administrative, whether it's enforcement, we come in contact with individuals. On the administrative side, we process, we transport, we do hospital watch, we do detention security. All of that requires us to come in contact with illegal border crossers. So if the National Guard is not going to take over those duties, then it's not going to free up any of our resources. And that means the border is going to be wide open and the cartels are going to control it.
Yeah, 1,500 troops doesn't really mean much when you've got 10,000 plus a day coming in. But I want you to explain something to the American people as well, because I think that there's a lot of confusion about exactly what happens when an illegal comes into this country. So if an illegal immigrant comes into this country, they claim asylum, they get across our border, they are processed, and they say, oh my gosh, I have a broken arm. Then who pays for that illegal immigrant to go to the hospital and get treatment for said broken arm?
The taxpayer, unfortunately. Of course, it all falls back on the taxpayer. Everything that this administration does falls back on the taxpayer, and that includes law enforcement operations or the lack thereof. When you look at illegal immigration, the amount of money that it is costing the American people is astronomical. And then on top of that, it's after they get past us. Once they get released into the United States, now we're giving them work permits. We're allowing children to go to school. We're allowing them to apply and get approved for social benefits such as welfare. Everything falls on the taxpayer, and it never should have been like that. That's why we're ultimately going to, if we continue down this road, we're going to become just like Venezuela, just like Honduras, just like all of these countries that these people are fleeing from.
Last thing I want to ask you, and I'm sure I already know the answer to this, but how is the morale among the agents? When you talk to them about what they're seeing, what they're experiencing, what do they tell you, and what do you tell them to, I guess, console them as best you can during this time?
In my 25-year career, I've never seen morale lower than what it is right now. 5 months ago, I didn't think it could have sunk any lower than what it was back then. It continues to go down. Make no mistake, we're going to continue to do our job. We're going to continue to put that uniform on. We're going to continue to go out and try to do the best we can to protect the American people. But we feel defeated. We feel demoralized. We know that this administration does not support us. Not only does the administration not support us, but they actively vilify us. They actively go after us. If we do our job, they say that we did something wrong, and they accuse us of committing criminal acts. All you have to do is look at what President Biden did with those horse patrol agents. That's how bad it's gotten.
Demonize, undermine. You know, I was here in Nashville and I had a Border Patrol agent from El Centro come to Nashville on vacation last weekend, and he approached me almost with tears in his eyes saying, Tommy, next week we have absolutely no plan. We don't know what we're going to see. We don't know what we're going to experience. We have no plan to deal with the influx that we're going to see at that southern border. And the man was a full-grown man, over 6 foot tall, tears in his eyes, because this is the career that he has spent his life working towards, and now he feels literally helpless to defend this nation. But I want you to know, and I tell your agents this all the time when I have the opportunity to speak with them, thank God for what you guys are doing out there. Thank God for you and Art and others out there being the voice of reason in all of this. We appreciate you, we support you, and we're going to do everything we can to get you guys a commander-in-chief that gives a damn about you and your mission. Thank you so much for taking the time today.
Very much appreciated, Tommy. Thank you.